It's episode 5 of the official New Japan Pro Wrestling English podcast. My name is Chris Charlton, and I am very excited today to have a special guest. That isn't part of the Bullet Club, so I don't have to negotiate that sort of awkwardness. But also a champion and a man who's a hot topic at the moment, Mr. Juice Robinson.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, Chris.
Well, thank you. We've been chatting a fair bit all last week.
Yeah, we became friends. We're friends now. Are we best friends now?
Good. I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We had a lot of fun, me, you, and Kevin, on commentary the last few days.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it.
It was maybe sometimes too fun.
Yeah. I'm just glad I didn't get any emails out of it. I sure did blur the lines a couple times.
Had you done it before?
I did commentary with Byron Saxton back in FCW in like 2013 when I had a broken wrist.
Right.
For little Thursday Florida shows in Tampa. And, it was similar to what we did, but it was only 2 men. 3-man booth is definitely...
It's difficult, isn't it?
For me and you to not step on each other was difficult. I think by the last 2 or 3 days, we were starting to really get the hang of it.
Right. Even because I think the first time you meet someone, there's just naturally you have awkwardness in conversation anyway.
Yeah.
And combine that with being on air and, Kevin sort of steering the plane, so to speak.
My God, is he a great pilot.
Oh, God.
Holy cow, he's good. We got
off the rails. Bigger things surrounded the week, and it's culminated in you ditching us.
Oh, yeah. Well,
in the main event.
Today, I'm just so relieved that it's out there.
Yeah.
We've got a match.
Yeah.
The world knows who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think people know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is a relief. Now, it's the not knowing that was driving me crazy.
Right. But you said you did know.
Well,
but did you really know? And was that...
You don't know, right? You don't know, so he's going to show up. But is the match then? Is the match at the Ryogoku final, or is the match at Dominion, or is he just coming to show up to, hit me in the head with a chair? And I didn't know for sure that it was Moxley. I just started to have a feeling at the end. Because I knew he was out there. I knew he was doing stuff. And just the way, it finally dawned on me, the way he was sitting at that bar. That's how he sits at the bar, man. All slunk over, and just, I don't know. I just had that feeling that it was him. I knew it wouldn't be Finlay. People were asking me.
Yeah.
It was
he's kind of British.
Unless he's really fooling me over these text messages.
Yeah. I think it was the Union Jack, the Union flag and that threw everybody off.
To me, I think I think that was a design. Yeah, to have people run around in circles. Oh, he's from Narnia. Nope. Yeah. Sorry. I call Great Britain Narnia. It's one of my jokes.
Right. Have you been to it?
Yeah, I've been to England. I love it. I love it every time I'm there. I lived in Birkenhead.
Oh, no way.
I did the All-Star Wrestling Camp. Minehead, Skegness, Bognor Regis. I loved my time in England. And then I've done some Rev Pros here and there.
Yeah, of course.
I actually got my visa. I was working for Brian Dixon. So I was in Liverpool / Birkenhead. And I was getting all my credentials and stuff ready to come over here for the first time in September. This was summer of 2015. So as an American, I had to go to the Japanese embassy in London. So I was I was just thinking, there is no way that this is going to go off without a hitch.
Yeah.
And it was so easy. It was easier than when I renewed it a couple years later in Chicago.
Right.
Yeah, it was so easy, and I was so surprised.
Right. So let's go back past Skegness. As much as I'd love to talk about Bognor Regis.
No, I'm sorry. You know how I think you know me now. I'm all over the place, man.
But let's go back to Florida. So, you met Jon for the first time in Florida.
Yes.
And you came in. Did you come in at about the same time?
We came in the exact day. It was like May. It was the first Wednesday in May of 2011. I was 21, and I think he was 26. No, I had just turned 22. Because I signed the contract when I was 21, reported I just turned 22. And he's like 4 or 5 years older than me. So he was, I don't know, since we came in at the same time, a lot of the stuff in the beginning, we were on the same street teams. We helped with the ring, or we took tickets together. At first we were progressed the same. Like, you come in as a group, and he was in my group. So we became friends. I mean, we like the same kind of things. We like drinking beer and pro wrestling. That's two, but those are two huge things in both of our lives. So, we became friends. And then throw Seth in there and Corey Graves, and now you got yourself a car. And I just latched onto those guys, and all the shows, I was the little brother. I was they would just laugh and pick on me and stuff. And I loved it because I was just learning about wrestling. Because all three of them had been all over the place, and I had been nowhere.
Yeah.
So, we were buddies. He lived down the street.
Yeah, so he, at that point, when he came into WWE, he was sort of known for CCW, like the sort of indies. You'd been a little bit on the independents before WWE.
Yeah, I got my feet wet a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I didn't know what I was doing. Right. When I showed up to Florida, I tell everybody that Dr. Tom, I was trained by Truth Martini, and a couple other guys, put their hand in there. But Dr. Tom is like who really, just turned me into at least a functional professional wrestler.
When he got called up, was it did all contact kind of stop at that point with you two, or were you still friendly, or?
Well, yeah, all contact did stop with us. I stayed close with Seth, and I stayed close with Graves, but me and John have a similar kind of personality of, like, we're friends. Like, when it separated, I don't know, I didn't really, out of sight, out of mind kind of. How the business is. Like, you're cool with somebody, but then that guy's not around you anymore. He moves on. It's like, maybe I'll see you down the road, maybe I won't. I never did see him again. I haven't seen him in years and years. Clearly he's, I don't think we're friends anymore. Yeah. We're definitely not going to be friends over that U.S. title at Real Goku. But, he's not a texter. I'm not a texter. We never played that game. So.
Right. So, since then you stay there, you're working there for a few years, and then you make the decision of like, no, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I was going nowhere.
What was there anything particular that put you to?
You just, you show up to TV, and you're just, the writing is on the wall. You can kind of feel it. You can kind of see how you're, or how the company promotes you, and it was just, I knew where I was going. I was sinking fast, and if I stayed there any longer, I would have just been fired probably.
Right.
For sure. So I got out before all that happened. I got out ahead of it and started over, and turns out I was right. I did have some talent, So, just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I got a whole lot of want to, and to hell with them.
Yeah. I remember, it would have been 2016, right? 2015.
When I left.
When you came to Japan the first time.
2015.
15, yeah.
September.
2015, yeah. Yeah, I remember when it was coming around Sumo Hall that year, and then it was kind of, the news got out, okay, Juice Robinson's going to be primarily in these matches and in these tag matches and what have you. And I remember it being people not really sure how to address you.
Yeah. Oh.
Because
I still had social media then. I remember crystal clear how people reacted to me coming here.
Well, I think even on the Japanese end, okay.
I'm not sure about the Japanese side.
Right.
I'm talking about the American side of things, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, that's good, but I want to talk about that as well. But like is sometimes the announcers would say that here's your Japanese word of the week, ryugakusei, like he's the exchange student.
Yeah.
And kind of, there was that approach. And I know, I've heard stories that they offered you, kind of more star treatment, and you'd said to yourself, no, I want to like start at ground zero here in the dojo.
Yeah.
Why was that important to you?
Because that's just how I was. Probably how I was raised. I don't know. My dad probably. I don't know. I knew when I came here that I wanted to make this I wanted to give it everything I had to make it my home and try to make my career here in Japan, like so many other foreign wrestlers have done. And I wanted to find my way. It would be different than theirs, but I wanted to find my way. And I wasn't going to go anywhere. And I knew the best thing to do to earn everybody's respect, the fans, the wrestlers, the office, was to come in humble as hell and start at the beginning like everybody else. I had no ego that, I was in WWE NXT. Mm. That doesn't mean anything here. And that's why. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. I needed to earn my stripes.
So you came in at, basically you started on some independence, got your feet wet, as you said, and then when you went to Florida, you had to start from scratch. Mm-hmm. And then went through that system and then came from here and basically started from scratch again.
Yep.
So that's almost kind of unique to have had the two parallel experiences. And, probably the top two developmental systems in the world.
Yeah,
right?
Without a doubt.
But very different. How do they compare?
Very different. Well, by the end, the Performance Center has 100 people and 6 rings, 10 people in a ring, just gray T-shirts. You're just a number. It's like almost like a factory. And it's very, run and just drills, workout, interview, next day, same thing, next day, same. I don't know. I'm sure that the same can be said probably as a young lion, a little bit different, but it feels just you have this family feeling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure. I know it sounds weird. Even when you're squatting a circle, like me, Finley, Jay, Sho, Yo. There were some others there that aren't here anymore, but just, I don't know. It was just like we're a team and we're in the hot, sweaty, New Japan Dojo, 100 degrees, Antonio Inoki's old house, and there's senpais in the corner lifting weights, and even if they're mad at you, even if you could just feel the love, even you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know, it's like a firehouse. I love the camaraderie as soon as I got here. Not to say there wasn't camaraderie in the Performance Center, but it was very, very just cutthroat, sterile business world. Just everybody's just trying to shoot their angle, and it's just I say this and it sounds terrible, but it's the truth. It was the worst job I've ever had. And that I'd rather go back to lifeguarding than being a trainee at the WWE Performance Center.
Right. One thing you didn't do in the dojo was shave your head, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I asked if I could, though.
Oh.
And I was told, no, we like the way you look, because I feel like they think that the dreads was, exotic.
Right.
Which it is. But, and I think that they relatively quick saw that, I didn't have that far to go as a young lion. Like, it was kind of like, okay, Juice, you're a young lion. This is good because it'll give you time to adjust, time to learn. And that could take a year. That could take 6 months, but starting as a young lion is good, but you don't need to cut your hair. You can wear whatever kind of, gear, costume, colors you want. It's fine. I mean, I had music more, Yeah. Well, they all kind of had music back then, I guess. But,
yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But, after a few months, 6-8 months, I mean, I can't, within a year, I was in a tag league with Tanahashi.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a relatively short process. But I think it was supposed to be. I mean, it's not like, I don't think that I was pushed before. I don't think I was brought up before I was supposed to be brought up. And Do you? I think it was just. It just seemed very.
It was kind of
just organic. It was just
organic. Yeah. I think before, because there was the different look, then it already set you
apart
a little bit. I remember the reason I asked was I remember like this story Naito told about him coming into the dojo on his first day, and that was when Togi Makabe still had his hurt Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And Naito's first day, and he sort of walks into the dojo, and Naito with the Naito hair, basically, at that time, and like sees Makabe, and Makabe just like loses his hand and like, get that shaved off.
Shave that off. Oh man.
Were there any sort of faux pas or blunders in the dojo at the time? Did Liger ever get really hot at you? Or?
Well, so everybody, I think most people know like how I live my life. I'm a bit of a party animal, and when we'd be on the road most of the time, and so I'd be on the road during the tours, but in between tours, I would have the tendency to maybe, stay out real late. And I had to, throw little rocks at Finley's room, like little bitty just pebbles, like
the window.
Yeah, I'm just like just so hammered, right. So drunk. I don't know where I was. Uno would bring me out. I'm throwing little rocks. He was like, "What, dude?" I'm like, "You gotta unlock the door for me." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Why are you whispering?" Liger's window's open. So he's like, "Oh, fine, hold on."
Yeah.
And just little stuff like that. Or I'd be like hammered eating cereal at like 4 a.m. and I'm like, leave the light. Like somebody would come down and be like, "What are you doing?" Just like, I struggled to like be the perfect little, in bed by 10 up at,
Yeah.
Well, that's not really how I live my life, but I never got in trouble with anybody really. I could have probably, but luckily I didn't.
Yeah.
I made it by the skin of my teeth.
Because one of those first few, when you were sort of really coming up, it was tagging with Naito. Mm-hmm. And right when he was sort of undergoing that.
Yeah, he was he wasn't the Naito we know today.
No.
He was starting to you would start to see glimpses of it, but he wasn't full on what he is now.
Right. Were there any like particular tag partners during that period where it's like, I learned a lot from this person?
Well, I think I learned a lot from Shibata, and not because he was my partner. It's because he was always my opponent. Because when I got here, there was a feud for the maybe the Never Open. I can't remember, but Naito and Shibata had a pretty long program.
Yeah, right when he sort of started the Ingobernables thing, Shibata was
right. And so it would always be me and Naito against Shibata and somebody else. And about all those matches ended with me and Shibata in the ring. Shibata PK kicking my shoulder into the fourth row,
Yeah.
So just kind of when you wrestle somebody, you kind of start to pick up the style of the company. And he was like a top guy, so he probably rubbed off on me without even knowing, without even me knowing.
Right.
But I look back at it now, I'm like, wow, I kind of like the experience of all the ass kickings he gave me, Right. I probably have him to thank for that.
So that, you make the style of the company, and like, even though we have such diversity here, but there is, wherever you watch or wherever you look, there's, not necessarily a house style, but there's like that kind of...
Yeah, no, a house style. Right? Yeah, philosophy, yeah.
And our house style is, in New Japan, is very different to the house style that Jon Moxley is used to.
Yeah.
What are you expecting? What are you sort of expecting to get from him? What?
I'm expecting a brawl all over the place. I'm not expecting a 5-star beautiful, technical match. I'm expecting a down and dirty fight. That's gonna, nobody's gonna feel good the next day. Right. And I don't think either of us will be the same after, in the way that I think it's gonna. Any way that this goes, it's gonna elevate me. If he beats me in the middle of the ring at Ryogoku, it is not gonna be for lack of heart and nuts, and the people are gonna be able to see that. If I beat him, he's a huge superstar. I mean, we were talking the other day about was it me and you talking about that difference between him and Chris Jericho? No, it wasn't. But I don't. Who's hot? Ambrose is the same, right?
Yeah,
I would say he's a huge name. So for me to get to wrestle him at Ryogoku in the semi-main event, it's gonna elevate me no matter what. As long as I remember my boots. That's all. I just got to show up,
right.
And I'm gonna outdo him. I'm gonna out charisma him, and I'm gonna out
punch him in the face.
Yeah, I'm gonna out punch him in the face. Exactly.
Yeah, you're right when it comes to names, and especially over the past month, I'd say
he has so much buzz right now.
Right, has so much buzz around him. And it's surprising that whenever big news gets out, mm-hmm. right, and there's always this initial reaction of, oh, wow, oh my God, or whatever. And then, a little while after that, you'll get the sneering people that are like too cool for school, perhaps. This match has just been overwhelmingly... But, I haven't seen any sort of snarky comments about this at all day, right?
Yeah.
Which says a lot about where you are, and it says a lot about where he is.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned before when you first came to Japan, you were still on social media.
Yeah.
And that reception to you at that time.
It's extremely negative, for the most part.
What?
Just like, this guy, this, loser from NXT, he sucked. He's going to New Japan, the best wrestling in the world, blah, 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 blah.
But I think it was probably that willingness to start from scratch and come back up. And it's made I think it made the Japanese fans take you as their own.
Yeah.
And you've been... more, I guess, organically loved,
dude,
by the New Japan audience than...
I say it all the time. They saved my career. They changed my life.
Yeah.
The New Japan wrestling fans. The right. Japanese.
Yeah. And
especially.
The Japanese especially, but I think even with foreign fans as well.
I think they're starting to come. They're starting to say, hey, he doesn't suck that bad. And he sure is trying out there.
They loved you on commentary though.
I'm sure there were some people who would say otherwise, but no, oh man, that was fun, that commentary. We were just being silly.
Yeah. But it's clear that you've always wanted it and that you still want it. How much do you think that Jon Moxley wants it? And what does he want from this, do you think?
I don't know. I would like to say that deep down that he's coming here because he's always had a love for wrestling and he wants to, wrestle under the New Japan banner at Ryogoku in a big time position. I want to say that. I would say that if it was the same John that I knew, 8 years ago as a 26-year-old kid. I don't know. You see that video, you see people change, people change. And I don't know if it's for the money. I don't know if it's for the spotlight, but I don't know. He doesn't. He hasn't said He hasn't said one word about coming here. He's just shown the video of me, and time's up. You're done, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I have no idea what his intentions are. Right. Truthfully.
Yeah. We'll just have to find out. I assume your intentions will be to keep that red belt around your waist.
Hell yeah, that sexy piece of red leather and gold, man.
Yeah. And keep on going into the... Well, G1.
G1's coming.
Yeah, immediately after Sumo Hall, that will be Osaka Joe Dominion. So.
And I got all my metacarpals this year,
Right,
so that's very important.
Yeah, and then the G1.
Dallas, we gotta get people, listen to me right now. Tell a friend. Get your butts to Dallas, man. This is the G1, the beginning of the G1, right? The official start of the G1.
Yeah.
Not G1 Supercard Unleashed. This is the G1.
Yeah.
The opening night.
And there's you're only going to get one chance to say you're at that.
The first one ever.
Yeah.
The first time the G1 has ever been in America.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're in the season. I feel like every year it's like this is when everything starts going really fast because it's G1, and then before you know it, that sets up the autumn, and then before you know it, it's the Tokyo Dome.
And then you get just when you think, and then there's Tag League. You know, you think I got a little air to breathe. Tag League, which is an underrated tour that really takes its toll.
Yeah, sure.
Too.
But you'll be all over the place, and we're all going all over the place because Dallas. After Dallas, we got Australia.
Wait,
Mike
what order?
Is away this week, but he would be telling me to.
Yeah, Australia's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
it's gonna be sweet. Yeah, we got Kazuna Road.
Yes.
We got Dominion first. Oh God, Osaka Joe Hall.
Yeah.
Then we got Kazuna Road. Then we go to Australia. Yeah. Then we do the G1. Dude, I'm on the road. That's why I have to move here because I've been on the road. This is 8 weeks on the road. And then I go home for 4 days, and then we start the G1 in Dallas and come back here for, oh my God, I gotta get an apartment.
Is that what you think? I mean, I spoke to Will Ospreay yesterday.
Willie White Shoes has got one. I gotta get one too. I think some other, foreigners are starting to think that route. It just makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, if you think I've been on the road for 4 years now.
Right.
Like, I don't even count when I crash on my dad's futon for a week here, a week there as like, you think you're recharging, but you're not. I need I need my own bed.
Right.
And a closet. Right. And a stove. And a bathroom that I use. With all my stuff in there, you know what I mean?
Cool. And that stuff hopefully includes the US title.
I wouldn't keep that in my bathroom.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure where you'd keep it. Okay. When we get to January 4th and 5th, 2020,
yes.
Where do you want to be?
I want to be the IWGP US champion, and I want to be towards the top of the card, and I want to have a challenger that is going to elevate that title. And with a win, elevate me. Me winning, I mean. I'm not a word person. We've been through this.
Deep breath. Some words.
Yeah, some words.
Some words, yeah. Okay, well, as Juice has gone into, he doesn't have social media, but that's okay, because you can follow New Japan social media at NJPW Global, NJPW1972.com. You can follow me. I am at ReasonJP. And we'll talk to you next time and on. Juice, so it'd be nice to do this again.
Dude, yeah, thanks, Chris. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So until next time, Goki Genyo. Sayonara.